She stood at my door in a white pantsuit, phone pressed to her ear, voice sharp enough to cut glass. "There's an illegal occupant in Unit 7. Send the sheriff. This is an eviction." Diane Holloway, HOA president and self-appointed law enforcer, had finally found her moment. But the man behind the door wasn't some tenant who skipped dues. He was Marcus Vale, quiet, observant, and, as it turned out, a 17-year veteran of the state police on undercover assignment. When the deputies arrived, Marcus didn't argue. He opened the door in full uniform, badge gleaming, hand on his hip. "I'll handle this," he said. The officers recognized him. Diane didn't. "You're trespassing on state property," Marcus told her. "And you just obstructed a peace officer." He pulled out his cuffs. "Hands behind your back." She laughed. Until he read her rights. The deputies didn't stop him. They helped, because Marcus wasn't just a homeowner, he was the law, and she had just called 911 on the wrong man. Marcus Vale moved to Ridgeview Estates to disappear. After years undercover in a narcotics task force, he needed peace and a clean cover. He bought a modest townhouse, paid in full, and lived quietly. No loud music, no parties, just early mornings, coffee on the porch, and long walks with his German shepherd, Rex. But Diane Holloway, president of the HOA, saw his silence as defiance. "All residents must attend the annual meeting," she declared. Marcus didn't go. Then came the first notice. Unapproved pet must be registered. Rex was a certified emotional support animal. Marcus ignored it. The next month, unauthorized exterior modifications. No black mailbox. He'd replaced it after it rusted. Then a drone hovered over his roof at 2 a.m. He recorded it, HOA logo visible. He filed a complaint, unauthorized surveillance. No response. Then a crew arrived, landscaping inspectors, measuring his lawn height. Marcus stepped out. "You're trespassing." They laughed. "We have authority." He handed them a map. The HOA's jurisdiction ended at the sidewalk. His property began 5 feet beyond. They left. But Diane escalated. She posted on the forum, "Uncooperative resident refuses to comply. Possible squatter." One woman replied, "He walks his dog every morning. He's polite." Another, "She fined me for painting my door navy." Marcus didn't reply. He started digging. He requested the HOA's master lease, the one they signed with the landowner. The board refused, confidential. He filed a public records request. 2 weeks later, it arrived, and there it was. The landowner may terminate the HOA's lease for abuse of authority. Diane didn't just lack power over him, she served at his pleasure. The third notice came with a red sticker. "Final warning, eviction proceedings initiated." Marcus opened it. "Failure to attend HOA orientation, $300 penalty." He'd never agreed to attend. He sent a letter. "I am not a member of the HOA. Your jurisdiction does not extend to my property." No response. Then, a drone hovered again. He recorded it. Then, a knock at 6:15 a.m. A sheriff's deputy stood there. "Ma'am says you're an unauthorized occupant." Marcus showed his ID, deed, and lease. "I own this place." The deputy checked his tablet. No record of eviction. He left. But Diane wasn't done. She called again the next week. Suspicious activity. Then again, possible drug operation. The deputies started recognizing Marcus. "He's clean," one said. "You're wasting our time." Diane didn't care. She believed in control. Then she saw him in the garage, uniform on, gear laid out. She didn't know it was his job. She thought it was evidence. That night, she called 911. "Armed occupant. Possible cartel member." The officers arrived. Marcus stepped out in full state police uniform, badge visible. "I'm Officer Vale. Narcotics Task Force. The deputies saluted. Diane stood frozen. You're a cop? Yes, Marcus said. And you just filed a false police report. Again. The officers didn't arrest him. They warned her. At 7:15 a.m., sirens echoed through the trees. A sheriff's cruiser pulled up, then a second. Diane stood behind them, phone in hand, smug. This man is living illegally, she told the deputy. No lease, no dues, he's a trespasser. The officer knocked. Marcus opened the door in full uniform, sidearm visible, badge on chest. I'll handle this, he said. The officers recognized him. Sergeant Vale. Marcus turned to Diane. You've filed 6 false 911 calls in 90 days. You've harassed residents, you've trespassed, and now you're obstructing a peace officer. I'm enforcing HOA rules, she snapped. You're not a cop. Marcus said. I am. He pulled out his cuffs. Hands behind your back. You can't arrest me. Obstruction of justice, Marcus said, and misuse of emergency services. The deputies didn't stop him. They helped. As he cuffed her, Marcus said, You called 911 to evict me. She glared. Now I'm arresting you, with my own badge. The officers escorted her to the cruiser. No charges were filed, yet. But the state auditor was already reviewing the HOA's finances, and Marcus had just handed them a list of names. The real investigation was just beginning. The next day, Marcus filed a formal complaint with the State Ethics Board. Attached, 12 years of illegal fines, evidence of forged meeting minutes, a slush fund used to fund Diane's vacations, a contractor's testimony. They called it landscaping. It was bribes. He also released the master lease to every homeowner. You are not tenants of the HOA. You are guests on my land. The reaction was instant. Texts, emails, angry calls. I paid $5,400 in fines for unapproved mulch. My dad had a heart attack. They fined him for missing a meeting. I thought the HOA owned this place. Diane called an emergency meeting. This is a privacy violation, she shouted. Marcus stood up. No, this is transparency. He played a 30-second clip, a recording of Diane telling her treasurer, We fine them until they sell. We flipped 3 homes this year. Gasps filled the room. A woman stood. I sold my house because I couldn't pay the fines. I lost everything. Diane tried to speak. We maintain standards. You maintain fear, Marcus said. The next morning, state auditors arrived. They seized financial records, and by noon they posted a notice on the gate, Ridgeview HOA, operations suspended pending legal review, yellow. Tape went up. The HOA office locked, and for the first time in 15 years, the community breathed. At the town hall, the room was packed. Diane stood at the podium, defiant. This man is trying to destroy our community. Marcus stepped to the mic. My father's name was Elias Vale, he began. In 1962, he developed this land. He didn't sell the plots. He leased them. He believed in preservation, not profit. But in 1998, the HOA formed and began selling ownership it didn't have. He paused. They told homeowners they owned their lots, but the deeds said leasehold interest. My father fought them. He lost. He died believing he'd failed. A man in the back said, How do we know this is true? Marcus clicked a button. A scanned letter appeared on the screen. To the residents of Ridgeview, I built this place for peace, but the HOA has turned it into a prison of rules. I am sorry I could not stop them. Elias Vale, 2003. The room fell silent. Marcus looked at Diane. He didn't want power. He wanted justice. A woman stood. I bought my home in 2005. No one told me I didn't own it. Another. I refinanced my house. The bank said it was mine. The board voted that night, dissolve the current HOA leadership, appoint a resident-led oversight committee, return all disputed fines. Diane walked out without a word, but Marcus wasn't done. 2 weeks later, the state issued the final ruling. Ridgeview HOA, lease terminated, no renewal approved. The HOA was dead. Diane tried to fight. She filed appeals, hired a lawyer, but the evidence was too deep, too wide, too public. At the final hearing, Marcus presented one last document, a petition signed by 92% of residents. We demand transparency, fairness, and true ownership. The court accepted it. Diane was barred from holding office for 5 years. Her husband's company was blacklisted from future contracts. And the HOA office sold at auction. Marcus didn't keep it. He donated it to the new Ridgeview Trust, a resident-owned cooperative. No fines, no Karen, just community. One evening, as he walked home, he saw Diane at the gate. She didn't speak, just looked at the new sign. Welcome to Ridgeview, owned by the residents, then turned and walked away. No anger, no scream, just silence. Later, he heard she'd moved. No forwarding address. But the story followed her. 1 year later, the neighborhood is different. No more fines, no more fear. The new trust manages common areas democratically, transparently, and Marcus? He still lives in Unit 7, still walks Rex every morning, still sips coffee on the porch, and when new residents ask why the HOA is gone, long-timers smile. She called 911 on the wrong man. One afternoon, a young boy knocked on his door. My mom says you saved us. Marcus knelt. No, I just remembered what no one else did. What's that? That rules only matter when everyone has to follow them. The boy nodded. As he walked away, Marcus looked at his badge, hanging on the wall behind glass. No more undercover, no more shadows, just peace. And in the end, that was the real victory. Not power, not revenge, but justice. Quiet, firm, and long overdue.